This PSA was brought to you by the Peter G Show.
You may have second thoughts after this show.
Don't drink the faucet.
We're really talented. We should get Oscars.
Just pick out a car, for Christ's sake.
No, my name is Peter. I want. Here's good.
Yeah.
Madam Perry.
I need to get back in the genie bottle.
Louis from Pennsylvania, you're on.
He likes it.
It's showtime.
Peter G Show, Peter G Show, divorced dad, single dad, divorced dad, single dad, Peter G Show.
Oh, yo, it is showtime. That's right. Wednesday, right here, right now. Showtime. It's, wow, what a day already. I mean, sometimes I feel like I'll give you an example. I was going through everything, knowing I had to start in a minute or so. And then I forgot that I had to start in a minute or so, and I'm doing other things. And I look up, I'm going, the show should have started. So anyway, we're here. How the hell is everybody? I hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to Life of Peter G, the Peter G Show, every Wednesday like clockwork, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, and 9 p.m. on the East Coast. God willing. That's a fact. And we're here. Tonight we got a good show tonight. Already I'm starting with the controversy, and I don't mean to do this. I really don't. But sometimes you have to talk about things to get people to respond, to possibly pay attention. You know what I mean? Because I'm not all about the clicks or this and that. I've been doing this the hard way for years now. So why stop now? I just do what I feel I need to do because that's who I am. You get it? And sorry, I almost inhaled and choked. That wouldn't go over good, would it? So I wanted to talk about something tonight. Actually, two things we're going to talk about tonight. We got a great show. Epstein. Everybody's so crazy on this Epstein stuff. Now, look, I understand the significance of it. I do. But at the same time, I think there's way more and it's way deeper than you or I can ever imagine. And why things are not happening or happening and not happening, all the above. But I found something, because this wasn't me who thought this up. I came across something because I work at this stuff. You know, every week I'm scouring, trying to find information, things that I feel are important for you to at least look at and listen to. What you choose to do with it after that, that's up to you. I never tell anybody, you know, you need to listen to me. I'm just bringing things to your attention. And I came across something that I had never heard before, and it never occurred to me. And it made a whole lot of sense. And I'm going to show you why I think Trump didn't want to release the Epstein files. And again, already I'm getting people, he already signed it. He jackass. I'm getting called all kinds of names. Like, yeah, I know. Give me a little credit. I know. But I'm going to show you why, let's put it this way. He preferred not to. Okay? And it's not because he's guilty and all this crap, whatever. But stick around. We're going to talk about this. And I'm saving it to the end. It's at the end of the show toward where we're going to talk about the Epstein files and how screwed up all this stuff is. And before you start bitching and screaming and writing me friggin' nasty letters and calling me names, you don't go to a movie to find out how the end ends at the beginning. It's that simple. I have an hour-plus show to do. I'm not going to dump everything right here for you because you don't want to sit here. And again, if you don't want to sit here, don't. I love you anyway. I understand. I don't have time for a whole lot of, things. I have to pick and choose what I want to sit around and to do. Not sit around, but what I need to do and want to do. So I highly respect those who take the time and love those to who watch the show, and there's many. We're going to that 500,000 mark right now. I mean, you must say 500,000. I mean, there's billions of people in the world, but I'll take it. So I'm going to talk about this, and there's some pertinent information I think is really worth the watch. But on top of that tonight, I think it's really important that we talk about this digital ID stuff some more, because I'm finding out how many people really don't understand the significance and the difference between real ID and digital ID and what road that they're trying to take us down. So the only way I can do this is by not necessarily repeating myself, but showing more and more information on why this is a bad idea. Okay? So that's what we're going to do tonight. So be patient with me. Stick around. You can fast forward. If you don't have time to watch, the show's on demand. You can watch it anytime you want, in intervals, in pieces. It'll be on YouTubes and Facebooks. Thank God for Facebook. We're doing great on Facebook. Please share, subscribe, follow, please. YouTube, they throttle me down. They mess with me. TikTok, I gave up. I quit posting on TikTok. They are censoring the worst. They're killing anything that they feel is going to go against their narrative. So I stopped. I just stopped. Screw them. I don't need them. They didn't do me any favors. I liked them. I liked a lot of the people. There's a lot of smart people on TikTok that talk. I get better information from the smart people on TikTok than you'll get from any news channel. That's a fact. Quit watching the news. They're your worst enemy. They're the ones who are dividing us. But that's what we're doing tonight. Digital ID. And then we're going to talk about the Epstein files on how I think and why Trump was not wanting to let those Epstein files out. And there's a really good reason, and it's not because he's guilty, but it'll make a whole lot of sense when you see what I'm going to show you tonight. So stick around, okay? It's that simple. Also, where are we at? Here we are. Next week, I mentioned last week that the Peter G shows are all falling on Thanksgiving Eve, Christmas Eve, and New Year's Eve. And I'm going to show up for each and every one of them for you, for me. I could easily take off. It's really easy. Just throw on a rerun. I have no contractual obligations that say I have to be here on holidays. But I'm going to be here because it's important, and we're going to share life. I don't know exactly what we're going to talk about on those eves, but I do know one thing. Next week, Wednesday, November 26th, Thanksgiving Eve, I'm going to have psychic medium Tony Green on the show with me. And I'm going to be very happy of that because I really enjoy her company. She's easy to make laugh. I don't know if we're going to be doing any psychic stuff, but she's going to be sharing the evening with me and with you. She's a lot prettier than me, that's for sure. And I like messing with her. I totally enjoy her. I really do. I really do. She's there's just something about her that's just different, special. she's a lot of fun, and she's going to join us Wednesday, November 26th. That's Thanksgiving Eve, right here on Life of Peter G, the Peter G Show. I'm going to have Tony Green sit in with us and just entertain. We're going to talk about all kinds of things. I'm going to really wing it. And I don't think it's going to be as much about her psychic ability. Then again, you never know. Because again, we're going to wing it. But that's what's happening next week on Thanksgiving Eve. And she don't know it yet. But I'm about to talk her into trying to do Christmas Eve with me and New Year's Eve with me. I just think it'll be fun. It's just nice to have somebody around during the holidays on the show. And again, easy on the eyes. She's got this certain gift that sometimes you just can't deny with her. And wow, I got a bunch of pens. There we go. Let's do this first. Pensacola in the house. Thank you. There'd be no show without Pensacola in the house. I love you. I do. Join me next week, Wednesday, Thanksgiving Eve, with psychic medium, celebrity psychic Tony Green. She's going to pay a visit and just spend some good time. We might talk family stuff, holiday stuff. Who knows? But it'll be fun. That much I know, because she's fun. She's so easy to make. She's easy to make laugh, and that's what we're going to be doing. All right. So again, for those of you who are going to bitch me out for not getting straight to the point for what you want, so be it. Again, nobody, just watch the show after, then you can fast forward to what you want to watch. I don't want to get, if you send me the emails, that's great. I don't get to see them anyway, but I hear about them. But again, I'm telling you in advance, I'm saving the Epstein files towards the latter part of the show, because that's going to be epic. I think it's just like, it's the reveal. You just don't do it at the beginning. Otherwise there's nothing else to do. They go, now what do you want to do? Capiche? Cool. All right. So where are we at? We're right here. Don't forget to subscribe, follow. Again, Facebook people, thank you. But please hit the like button on the official Peter G Show page. If you want to comment live on the show, you can comment live. If you're on the official Facebook Peter G Show page, if you're on the official YouTube Peter G Show page, or if you're on the official LinkedIn Peter G Show page, those are the only 3 pages that you can comment on that I can see live. If you do any other comments on any other channels that you're watching, even if, because I have multiples on Facebook and all that, they won't be seen in real time. Okay. But I love when you comment. I do. So please feel free. If I can get to them and read them, I will. Sometimes they're just too much, or sometimes I'm in the middle of things and it's hard to do that, but we'll get her done. And that's basically it. All right. So what we're going to do is I am going to get to the digital ID stuff. Is there any other thing I wanted to play before we do? If we do, I'll just do it. Just do it. What we're going to do is I want to hear first, before we get started, from my good friends over at Clean Start Products with their money-saving fuel additive DX1 driver. Because let's face it, folks, it makes sense to save money, and gas is expensive in some parts of the country, like California. And I'm sick of it. All right. So save money on fuel. Be right back.
Hello, it's Tyrone Thompson here with Clean Star Products, and we're here with William.
High-end car service.
And we've just serviced his Cadillac Escalade 2024. And we're going to be giving it a go to see what kind of results he'll be getting in his fuel mileage and any performance differences, and be checking with him later.
All right.
Thank you, William, for participating in our environmental program. We're here with High-End Car Services, my friend William, who's been using DX1 for a small time now. What kind of results have you been getting?
Up to 45.1 miles per gallon best results, and the engine has been quieter, and I can definitely feel the power in the engine. I have a diesel.
Thank you so much. We're going to keep going with the program and check in with you later. We appreciate you.
The Long Life Engine Program with DX1 Driver is the only safe environmental product for your high mileage engine. DX1 is a non-toxic, clean-burning oil that goes into your fuel and your engine oil, providing lubricity for gasoline and diesel engines. You save on average 10% gasoline and 15% diesel fuel consumption. Call now for a price quote and place your order today. It's the Long Life Engine Program from Clean Star Products and Tyrone Thompson.
That's right. Clean Star Products DX1 driver. I have 2 words. It works. I use it myself. I wouldn't talk about it unless I know that it worked. I've used it. I still do. It does work. Notice the difference probably within about 3 or 4 tankfuls. Simple thing. Take one of these little bitty bottles. This bottle is enough for a 4-door sedan. Sorry, dyslexia. Pour one of these little itty bitty bottles into a clean oil change. It'll last your whole oil change. And after that, when you go to fill up your tank, you pour one of these little bottles into your tank, fill it up with fuel, and drive. It's that simple. You don't have to touch the oil anymore. It lasts the whole oil change. So for your average car, what is that, 5,000 miles? 10,000 if you own a Mercedes or something like that, right? That's it. Then when you start needing fuel again, you get another little bottle and you put it in, but it's best to run the tank. Don't run it super dry, but get it down to low to add so you put in a full tank, because this stuff may not look like a lot of stuff, but it services, I don't know, 12 or 13 gallons, something like that. And then put in fuel and drive. You'll notice the difference. And I'll tell you what, here's what we'll do. Don't believe me. Go to their website, www.cleanstarproduct. All the information is there. You can read up on it. You can find out what it does, why it does what it does. But more importantly, there's a phone number there, 310-200-8931. Call them. They will talk to you personally. You might even get Tyrone Thompson in person. He loves talking about this stuff because he has a product that works and he knows it. I know it. You should know it too. I mean, who doesn't want their car to run better, save money on not only fuel, but repairs, more lubricity? Good food, good body. That's the best analogy that I can tell you. Take care of your body and your body will take care of you. Same thing with cars. I am sick of buying cars. I'm not into cars anymore. Those days are gone. Well, maybe. But for the most part, they are. Unless I'm leasing to where after 2-3 years, you give it back, because they don't last. They just don't make them like they used to. So for the higher mileage cars especially, you want your car to last, give it some good food. Telling you, stuff works. After you do it for a full month or at least 4 tanks of fuel, then, you can back off a little bit if you don't want to do it every other tank. Once a month, anything is better than nothing. But again, call them, 310-200-8931. Mention you saw it on the Peter G Show. Here's the kicker. They will send you 5 bottles for the price of 4 because you mentioned that you saw it on the Peter G Show. But you have to mention that, all right? The holidays are coming around. Buy it for somebody who's got a older car that's got a gas hog or has a car that they want to keep, because they can't afford to buy new cars. It's cheaper to do it this way than to be letting your car go to hell and then you got to buy another car. And then you're buying somebody else's headache. You don't know what you've got, right? Call them. Mention that you saw it on the Peter G Show. They will send you 5 bottles for the price of 4. A deal's a deal. And the holidays are rolling around. Makes a great gift, too. Telling you, it works. All right. Well, life on the farm is kind of laid back. Not around here. A lot of stuff going on around here. What are we doing? Oh, yeah. We are going to take a sip because this is going to be an interesting show, so stick with me. Smooth. Isn't that right, butthead?
Smooth.
He agrees. Hands down. Forgot to mention, it's like a lot of weather change again. What was it, a week ago? It was freezing cold in some parts of the country, and then it was hot in California, and they had storms on the East Coast. And now they got storms on the West Coast. It's hot in the southern part of the country. And it's that undecisive switching to winter weather. Eventually, it will be cold. It will be cold. There will be snow, more snow in parts of the country. But nothing new to report from home about that. Every year, same thing. We just, I don't know, maybe it's subliminally we think that like something's going to change. It is what it is. It's all good. As long as we wake up every day, we're doing good. All right, so we're going to talk about, here's what we're going to do. I want to talk to you about digital ID some more, because I am seeing more and more people trying to help you understand that this is going to be something that they are going to cleverly try to get you to slowly start going more and more into under the pretenses of convenience. All right, let's review. Digital ID, bad. They're going to try to get you to sign into more and more things involving digital ID under the notion of convenience. It's not going to be convenient at some certain point. I can't say it enough. So I, once again, acquired some videos that I think you'll enjoy watching. I mean, why listen to me? I'm telling you, I don't expect you to listen to me, but I want you to just see what these other people have to offer and keep it in your head, because they are going to cleverly start getting us, herding us towards digital ID if they can. If they can. We have to say no. No, say no to digital ID. It's not going to be good in the long run for humanity. There'll be no turning back. And these videos are going to blatantly tell you how detrimental it will be if we're underneath that digital ID, and why there's no like, we changed our mind, we don't want to do this anymore. There's no going back. Okay, let's start first with the old World Economic Forum. Those guys, those are one of my favorites that I just want to, they need to be eradicated, eviscerated. A bunch of unelected officials, billionaires, who think that they can tell us and know better than us. I digress. I beg to differ. Here you go. This is a little something on their predictions on what they're the ones trying to push all this. So here you go.
So the World Economic Forum has come up with their 8 predictions that they think will happen by the year 2030. And by predictions, I mean they're going to pay a bunch of billionaires like George Soros to mind wash the dumb youth into thinking this way so that these predictions can come true. Now I'm going to play some of them and then I'll read the rest of them to you because, yeah. 8 predictions for the world. You own nothing and you'll be happy. And if you're not, we'll put you in re-education camps and then like fill you with a bunch of SSRIs and antidepressants. And if you still don't like it, don't worry, they'll find a use for you. The US won't be the world's leading superpower. That's because they want China. Just like Justin Trudeau said, their simplistic communist style is all that he ever wanted, and that's what he's getting in Canada and a bunch of other Western countries. You won't die waiting for an organ donor. Why? Because according to them, they'll just print organs. That's also a lie. You're going to be the organ donations through things like MAID, like medically assisted induced dying. Yeah, a bunch of countries have them. And now you can get it just because, you're sad one day. So where do you think those organs go? To the rich. But hey, whatever. And you'll eat much less meat. Why? Well, because an occasional treat, not a staple for the good of the environment and our health. On their website, they specifically say that they want to limit people to 3 items of clothing a year because of the environment. But they get to fly to Geneva, Switzerland, and Brazil on their private jets and eat filet mignon and all those other things while us plebs suffer. 1 billion people will be displaced by climate change. We'll have to do a better job at welcoming and integrating refugees. AKA George Soros is paying a bunch of people to flood Europe and North America that are completely incompatible with Western societies to absolutely ruining from the inside out. And if you say anything, you're a racist. So you have to be better at bending over and allowing everyone to just come in and do whatever they want. Polluters will have to pay to emit carbon dioxide. This is so that we can bring in green energy that doesn't work, so that we can ration our energy use, and so that we can live like it's the 1800s. Because we're plebs. You could be preparing to go to Mars. Alien life? That's to prepare you for Project Bluebeam, so that they can enact the one world government and the new religion that they want. And number 8, Western values will have been tested to the breaking point. That's exactly what's happening right now. But don't worry, checks and balances that underpin our democracies must not be forgotten. Don't worry, democracies will be completely forgotten and you won't even know what it means. You'll have a digital ID and you'll be in a digital prison, and you have to say and think exactly what they want you to say. Yay!
Yay! A lot of people fail to realize how quickly they can erase history by just shoving more bullshit down your brain and wiping out all the stuff from the past. They've been doing it, but I mean, they can do it a lot more too. So what you don't know, you don't know. And they're serious about this stuff. I mean, all you have to do is open up your ears and listen what's going on. These things are going on. They say it casually. You know, they said it casually about the old jab, too. First, like, they wanted you to get it, and then it was like, you must get it. Yeah. And it was like, you know, I've seen all this. It's like, you don't have to, but it'd be a really good idea. And it's like, no, you're going to have to, or else. They'll start taking away privileges. They'll start taking away the way you know, your jobs or your ability to work, or you watch. So please keep your minds open, because 2030 is not very far away. And again, they've been trying this stuff for decades, but when you push back and we say no, we at least set them back another 20 to 40 years, because people remember. I mean, we're the ones going through this. So I hope I'm going to, you know, live for at least another 20 years, 40. I'd like 40, please. I'll take 40. That'd be cool. So all these people going through this won't forget. They have to get past them before they can start putting it on the newbies again. That's what they've done. They've done it in the past like that, and they'll do it again. You know, it is what it is. But this is why I'm bringing it to your attention. So Laura Ingraham, I like Laura Ingraham because she doesn't take no shit from anybody. She's a news anchor, so to speak, and she's going to explain a little bit more about the digital ID, because I don't like this digital ID stuff. I just don't. And she's going to help explain some more. I think as we keep going through some of these videos, it'll all become clearer to you. So please, kick back, pay attention. Be right back.
Independent journalist Michael Schellenberger has been digging into the digital ID issue. He just released a lengthy piece on this on his Substack called Public. He joins us now with his thoughts. Michael, look, the argument is it's like it'll help thwart illegal immigration, ID fraud, streamline healthcare services. Sounds fantastic. What the heck's the problem?
Right. Hey, great to be with you, Laura. Yeah, I mean, another conspiracy theory that has started coming true. I mean, we saw this announcement in September. It took everybody by surprise. The World Economic Forum had been pushing digital IDs, the United Nations, the European Union, Britain. Of course, the really terrifying example is China, which uses digital IDs and a social credit score to control speech and to control what people think and say online. I mean, it could come in a lot of different ways. They'll start voluntary, then they'll make it mandatory. They'll have rewards, and then they'll have punishments. It's quite terrifying. And when you just listen to what the advocates for digital IDs say, it's terrifying. And, you know, Laura, one thing I learned from this last round of investigations is that this is a huge cybersecurity threat. The idea that, I mean, imagine if you get hacked in one of the many websites that you log into. Imagine everything suddenly being hacked because it's all centralized in a single place. That cybersecurity threat alone ought to be enough to kill the digital ID. But again, this is potentially digital totalitarianism.
And it's coming. The WEF, the UN, the EU, the MOUSE, the whatever. Here's a key. Whatever they say that's going to be good, that they think is going to be good, that they want to move forward with, we need to do the exact opposite. Whatever they say, we need to do the opposite, because they are not looking out for your best interests. They don't care about you or me or most of the world population. It doesn't matter to them. We're like little ants to them. But they need the little ants, worker bees, to keep things going, but they don't need all of us. So they'll eliminate a whole bunch through Gates's depopulation. He says through better health we can advance in depopulation. Yeah, better health. In other words, everybody get all their vaxes and it'll shorten your life. That's what it means. You'll stay healthy until you're not. It's real simple. I hate these people. I really do. I don't understand how they're allowed to be empowered, and this basically because of us, because we're letting them. But we can stop this. We really can stop this. We can. We can. Speaking of hacking and getting hacked, tell me what a pain in the ass it is just when one debit card of yours gets hacked and then you got to go calling the banks and you got to do things. And, what a pain in the ass that is. Imagine putting your whole life into one digital ID and then it gets hacked and your whole life is just like wiped out, like you have no existence. This is another threat that they're not telling you about this because they won't be able to control this either, because there's always going to be crooks. There's always going to be an action and a reaction, a yin and a yang, a good and a bad. In this case, it's bad and worse. Check out the threat, which they're not going to ever mention this on top of the fact, because they want to make everything like, oh man, this is really going to be great for you. You should do this. No. Check out the ramifications of if your whole life was in this digital ID, how horrible it would be if you got hacked.
For those of you who think that digital ID sounds convenient, let me warn you what happened in India, where over 1 billion people were forced into a system like this. It became one of the largest disasters of the century. In India, the government linked people's food rations, pensions, and even hospital access to a digital ID system. The problem? Criminal networks learned how to hack and manipulate biometric data. When fingerprints didn't match, or when hackers swapped someone's identity, people were locked out of survival. Entire families were denied food. In just one state, at least 24 people starved to death after being cut off from rations. Some elderly pensioners went months with no income because their IDs were hijacked. Victims reported going to the store only to be told, your fingerprint doesn't match, no food for you. Others went to hospitals and were turned away because their ID had been cloned. Imagine being sick, hungry, or elderly, and a glitch or a hacker takes away your right to live. This wasn't just a glitch here or there. Organized criminal groups exploited the system, stealing benefits, rerouting funds, and selling fake identities. At one point, millions of fake accounts were uncovered, used to siphon money meant for the poor. A system sold as secure ended up creating a black market for identities where the poor suffered and criminals thrived. This is the real danger of digital ID. It's not about safety or protecting children. It's about control and exploitation. Once everything you need to live, food, money, medicine, is tied to a single ID, all it takes is an error or a criminal to cut you off. India's experiment showed us what happens: hunger, fraud, and preventable deaths. Don't think it can't happen elsewhere. Digital ID isn't security, it's a weapon waiting to be used against you.
Thanks, Art Garfunkel. The reality is, regardless of what his hair looks like, and hello, MCF Senior. Shalom. Regardless of what he looks like, he makes a lot of sense. Yeah, maybe he'd make, be a little more at first glance relatable, but I found his information to be invaluable. The hacking, can you imagine? It's bad enough when they can't find something, or and in the system, electronics, computers, and this and that, and you go and they go, we don't have you in the system. It's like, what if your whole life wasn't in the system? It got hacked, and you were no longer you, to have money, to be able to pay a bill, to be anything. You don't exist. Therefore, you would not be able to do or buy or anything. That's some scary stuff. How much worse do you want it than that? You will starve because you will cease to exist on digital ID. You know, as of it is right now, it's like, okay, if your debit card didn't work, you got a credit card. Or if your credit card didn't work, you got cash. Or something. You know what I mean? There's always some way to squimmer around it. But that's just a small portion of the what ifs. You got hacked. If you got hacked, you don't exist. Therefore, you can't go to a doctor. You can't go to the hospital. It's the tip of the iceberg. You're wiped out. They've already done this to, we'll be talking about this. We're not done yet. But just let that sink in. Just let that sink in, because that's reality. This is what they want to do, but they don't tell you about the ramifications of people going to, there's going to be crooks. There's going to be cyber thieves that are going to steal people's identities. I mean, let's face it. They steal your bank accounts. They break into your bank accounts. They steal your mortgages. They steal your, all kinds of stuff. They break into your credit cards. They make credit cards in your name and run them up, and all of a sudden you're getting bills that you never even saw before. So imagine that and multiplying it times forever. That's a big probability, besides the fact that how awful it would be to conform to digital ID and letting them have full control over you to where they can turn your life on and they can turn your life off, depending on how obedient you are. Me talking about this on a show, they'd punish me. It'd be like communism. They'd punish me. So you'd have to be all those secret clubs. You're just talking to people underneath your breath. Don't let anybody hear. And then somebody tells on you. Before you know it, you got the police at your door for saying something. It's very real. It's happened in the past. It could easily happen again if we allow it. Here's the reality. This is I always like showing, this is another, like a movie clip of, if we allow, am I there already? Oh, no way, I still got the girl. Sorry. Here's a girl talking about how slithery Apple, the phone, Apple computers, Apple, how slithery, they're all in bed with all this stuff. I mean, they gather a whole bunch of information on us, Facebook's does and all that. But again, it'll be times 1,000. Here's a girl telling you about Apple, what they're trying to do right now, and how easy it will be for us to fall into it because they put it into their, when you go to upgrade your phone and it's all the stuff that you never read, you just click OK. They want to get us. Here.
That control grid that I've been warning you about, it arrived here in America, brought to you by none other than Apple. I worked for Apple for 17 years and still hold quite a bit of stock, so it brings me no joy in telling you this. But there are no good guys here, and that's exactly why we need to shut it down while we still can. Apple just rolled out digital ID integration. Sounds convenient, right? But every convenience has a price. Once your identity goes digital, it becomes programmable. And once it's programmable, it becomes controllable. You are handing over your entire identity wrapped in a product, a file that can easily be deleted. If you don't comply, you lose access. If they don't like your opinion, they freeze your accounts. Step out of line. No travel, no bank transfers, no benefits. This isn't speculation. It's already live. Thailand has programmable digital currency. Europe introduced biometric wallets. Canada froze accounts during protests. China's where the pilot began, and they're in full production mode with a live social credit system. They're secretly building the infrastructure at a global level right now, not through laws or force, yet. They're building it through updates and convenience. In Vietnam, they deleted 86 million bank accounts because people wouldn't agree to a digital ID. In the EU, by 2027, they're outlawing large cash payments, forcing people onto digital rails that they can control. This is just the on-ramp. Your freedom becomes conditional when your identity is controlled by a corporation or a government that can revoke it with a keystroke. This is how dystopia arrives, not with tanks or force, with app updates or convenience. Pay attention and push back while you still can. Let's go.
Convenience. See? There'll be another one of those updates. They'll be doing it on all. They say Apple. It'll roll out onto Androids or this and that. And it'll just happen to be in that agreement, terms of service, or whatever the hell it is, that we never, ever read. Can you imagine they wiped out 80 million bank accounts? So your money's in a bank. It doesn't matter whether you have $2,000, $200, or $200 million in the bank. All of a sudden, they wipe out the bank accounts and your money is gone. Everybody's money is gone. So there's no cash. You have nothing except whatever you have on you at your house, wherever, hidden under the mattress. And then that will run out in no time. Then what? Then what? And that's the way they want you, because then you'll say, what am I going to do? I have to, or I can't do this, or I can't do that. And that's what they did with the old Vaxxerini, the old Jabberini. You can't go to work unless you have the old Jabberini. And people are looking and go, I can't lose my job. Some people were brave enough to say no. They kicked people out of the military, which they all invited back with back pay. But it was horrendous. How much damage? And then you have the people that are doing something they don't want to do against their will because they feel like they're being pressured and don't have a choice because they have responsibility, mouths to feed, children. And that's how it goes. They push you into it. But we have to say no. We have to say no. I hope a lot of people learned from this last event we had from 2019, 2020 of that hoax. Not saying that the sickness wasn't real. I'm saying that the solution wasn't. They wanted that whole thing, that Jabberini in you for different reasons. Plus, it was to see if you would conform. And a lot of you did. And a lot of you were getting boosted up. If there was 14 boosters, you can't wait to go get the 15th. It's like, stop. Wake up. This is a little scenario. You know how we used to watch Star Trek and they used to have the little pin on their shirt and they'd tap it and talk to the computer, and this was in the 60s. Dick Tracy with the phone watch back in the early 60s, late 50s. Never notice how all this stuff has come true? How is that? That they can make it pretty much like it was out of the movies come true. Now you got Alexa, you're just talking into thin air, or you have a device of some sort. I mean, it's all come true. So don't take any of this stuff for granted. This stuff has been in the works for a long time. It's real. So I'm going to show you a little movie, mini trailer, about a scenario of conforming to digital ID and the atrocities that could become of this because we caved and said okay. This is the downside of how your future life could be, or your children and your children's children can be, depending on how old you are. You got to say no. Check this out.
Good morning, citizens. Your overnight account balances have been updated. Time to start a productive day. Final notice, your account balance is below 500. You need 50 credits by the end of the day to avoid automatic eviction.
There's a movie like this, but Time is Worth Life, and it has Justin Timberlake and Jessica Biel in it. Very similar, though.
If you have missed work due to illness, you must provide a doctor's note to reclaim your credits.
Any extra credits? Please.
Tensions are high today, with more people planning to join the Citizens Against Digital Control protest. Remember, the government knows who you are at all times. Resisting is not worth the consequences. All of their newest social credit systems are designed to keep you and your families safe and efficient.
Authorities seized a record balance of an individual's credits, citing excessive hoarding.
Traffic violation detected. 7 miles per hour over the limit. 75 credits have been automatically deducted.
You have to be fucking kidding me.
Yep, you got the flu. Your blood work shows a significant iron deficiency. I recommend incorporating more red meat into your diet.
Dr. Jones, your taxes were not filed and have been automatically deducted with late fees. Your medical license has been revoked.
Oh, hell nah, I filed an extension.
Purchase denied. Monthly red meat allowance exceeded. Try mealworms instead.
They want you eating bugs.
Can you guys please let me through?
Attention. Unauthorized political gathering detected. Participants' access to financial services has been suspended. Due to the speeding infraction, your car will be immobilized for 3 days.
Fuck you! Take your surveillance policies and rot in hell!
Touche.
You've earned 50 bonus credits for reporting your neighbor's hateful misconduct.
Oh my god. How accurate.
This content exceeds your current social credit tier. May we suggest citizen responsibility?
They're doing this right now with social media. If you go on TikTok now, it's over. They've restricted everything. They've banned me for speaking out. They're literally filtering what you can see.
Sarah, open the door. You have been identified by the authorities.
They're already ushering in digital IDs over in the UK right now.
It's true about TikTok. I don't know how some of these guys that I really like that, I mean, they get banned, but then they don't care. They just go and start up another one. I don't have that in me. I did it twice. They banned me completely shut down my whole channel within 2 weeks. And I just said, screw it. Cause I didn't even feel like I did anything that bad. I never do. I was just talking about things that they don't want you talking about. That little movie trailer, whatever, is going to be the future. If we allow them. That's the kind of life we're going to be living. Always worried about what they're going to do to us if we step out of line in their eyes. Government. I think it was kind of funny, the doctor, the black dude, he's like, you're showing iron deficiency. I suggest you eat more red meat. And it's like, beep, beep, beep. You hadn't paid your taxes, so we're going to fine you. He's like, oh, hell no. I filed an extension. All of a sudden, he went black. That's it. He had enough. He went back to just like, that's it. Oh, hell no. All kidding aside, although that was kind of funny. This is the reality of it, folks. This is the reality of it. It's not going to be a good thing. And that's why I'm going to help try to do my part to keep you on your toes. Speaking of on your toes, and now it's time to talk about the Epstein files. That's right, folks, the moments you've been waiting for. Still not going to give the big reveal until the end of me talking about the Epstein files, but this is going to be the precursor, the beginning of why I'm going to tell you what I'm going to tell you, on how I feel and why I believe that Trump really did not want to let the files open up, and why. And it's not because he's guilty. So stick around the next few minutes. This is going to be good. One more sip. Oh, okay. I'm going to remind all of you that not too long ago, they showed up on the White House steps with all these binders and these young influencers. They're all holding up the binders and they're like, we got it right here. We got them right here. Here. They're pointing to it and all that stuff. And then we didn't hear anything. Not a thing. Nada. Nothing. It's like, what happened? I'll remind everybody, these files were accessible to Congress and the senators and all these people years ago. This stuff could have been brought up and brought out into the open no less than 5 years ago, 6 years ago. But all of a sudden now, because Trump's in office again, they want to bring it up. And I'll remind you again, if they had anything on Trump that was detrimental to him becoming president, they would have already brought it out. I can't say that enough for all the people that I know and love that just can't stop wishing that he was guilty of something in this Epstein stuff so they can say, see, I told you so. I don't understand why you expend that much energy hating, wishing on somebody something that doesn't exist. Because if it did, the opposing team would have thrown that at him, because God knows they threw everything and the kitchen sink and their socks and shoes, and it didn't do a damn thing, because they made up a lot of this stuff as a team to go against him, but it didn't hold water. Truth prevailed, whether you like it or not. I'm not saying he's the greatest guy in the whole world, and business is business, all right? Look inside yourself. We've all made decisions sometimes that were a little bit sketchy here and there. However, they got nothing on him, or they've tried to nail him to a wall. Why wouldn't they have? You think they're waiting? Well, let's let him become president and then we can do it. No, they didn't want him to become president. But either way, they were showing that we got the Epstein files and this and that, and we got this and we got that. Now, Christmas is going to be here. And now, instead of whatever you're wishing for Christmas, now, even little kids, they're just like,
No way, the Epstein files! Thanks, Santa! I can't wait to read all this!
yeah, thanks, Santa. The Epstein files. It might be Christmas from, in another 5 years. Thanks, Santa. Can't wait. I don't think that we're going to hear what you think you want to hear yet. And again, building up to this in a few short minutes, I hope you're going to see a reasoning that could be a really good reason as to why we're not going to hear it. But in the meantime, here's the band Beard. The band Beard is going to make an explanation on if they were going to railroad Trump, they would have through these Epstein files, but they didn't. And I love this guy. I do. I wish I could get him on my show, but he just does his thing, and that's all he wants to do. But he's a lot of common sense, and he's full of knowledge, correct knowledge. So check this out.
You don't care about the victims. You're hoping for a gotcha moment. Who's Virginia Roberts? Virginia Roberts is Virginia Jeffries. See, way back then, she was Virginia Roberts, and she was in hiding for more than 12 years because of what happened to her. And Amy Robach of ABC found her, tracked her down, convinced her to tell her story. She came with all of the courage in the world to come forward with all the evidence, the names like Clinton, royalty, and other powerful people, emails and photos, all of the evidence. And Amy was going to run with it, and ABC said no. She fought for 3 years to run that story, and they said no, to protect the Clintons and all of those powerful people. So she let the world know she was being stifled. You guys never said a word. You didn't say shit. Then all of a sudden we have an email in which they crossed out the name and wrote victim, and you saw Trump's name and you bit hook, line, and sinker. Problem is, that was actually part of that evidence from more than 10 years ago. It was from Virginia. And she was very clear that Donald Trump was never involved, and she was nothing but cordial. But they crossed the name out so that you would bite, because if you knew who she was, you knew it would already be discredited. You've ignored the names like Bradley Edwards, who was a lawyer for over 200 victims that said Trump wasn't involved and answered their subpoenas, wrote a book and said he wasn't involved. The FBI said he wasn't involved and was fully cooperative. Epstein's lawyer says he wasn't involved. Michael Cohen, who fucking hates him, said he wasn't involved. He tried to get the documents released as it related to the grand juries, and he's been blocked by 3 judges. But you ignore all that because you saw one email and you ignored 33,000 documents because you thought you had a gotcha moment because you never cared about the victims because you never posted ever until Trump got into office.
It's got a point there. And I blame the news media because the news media are the ones shoving this stuff down your throat. Because if you push it long enough and hard enough and consecutively enough, you start to believe it. Not all. You have to learn eventually. Some may never learn that the media is full of shit. They work for a certain portion of the government. And they're pushing their narrative. Now, Virginia Roberts, the woman he was talking about, for some of you who may not know, she was one of the victims of Jeffrey Epstein who hid, and then she came out of hiding and told all this stuff after years and years. She just recently died. Suicide. She just recently was, we were told that she offed herself. I don't buy it. This is how bad it is. That's how desperate they are. That's how far they will go. And this is not the first time this kind of stuff happened. Again, we're just little ants to these people. So what? That's just one. That's just two. There's all these people, especially when you get around the Clinton Foundation, Hillary Clinton and all that. Everybody, somehow, something happens to them. It's just mind-boggling. Go against them or have too much knowledge. Things happen. Accidents happen. Sucks. Sucks that we're living in a world like this, just trying to be normal, trying to be happy, just trying to live and thrive. We can, though, if we stick together. We have to stick together. And that's the thing. They're working so hard to keep us divided. That's their key because it's less to have to conquer. Tim Kramer don't take any shit. He tells it like it is. Here's a little version of Tim Kramer about how they lie, why they lie, but how they lie. So here's a little more information coming your way. We're getting closer. I'm only 2 or 3 videos away from my reveal opinion as to why Trump was trying so hard to not give up the Epstein files. Check this out first. Tim Kramer.
You put a Democrat on TV, they're telling you, yeah, we want to get rid of those Epstein files. We got to show everybody those Epstein files. Got to release them. We don't care who's in them. Yeah, got to release them.
Some people have said to the Democrats, well, wait, there might be Democrats in there. Are you sure you want to participate in blowing up their cover-up and their conspiracy? Yes, we do. We think anybody who's implicated should be known. And if there are Republicans who feel differently, and obviously Donald Trump feels differently, well, that's on them. But the American people really want to know because child sex trafficking is a serious crime.
And Tim Burchett made them put their money where their mouth is. Tonight, he said, hey, listen, let's release those files right now. Let's get going. What'd the Democrats say? Well, you tell them, Tim.
Hey, everybody, Tim Burchett just left the House floor, and I tried to do a UC, unanimous consent, of tried to get the Epstein files, get it straight to the floor, to cut out all this nonsense. And, and the Democrats blocked it, oddly enough. Now, here they've had it for 4 years, and they, obviously, if there's something there about Trump, they would have released it. And now they're all, let's get it out. Well, I just made a motion to bring it straight to the dadgum floor, and they blocked it. So, this is politics. It has nothing to do with what's doing what's right. I mean, it's Washington, D.C. to a T. And again, they ought to be ashamed of themselves, but they're probably not. Thank y'all for sending me here.
Just in case you haven't realized it, Democrats lie to you. Remember? Just last week, they were telling you it was the Republicans keeping the government shut down. And then when 8 of them caved, all of a sudden, those motherfuckers, why'd they cave? We can't keep the government shut down if they go in and vote with the Republicans to open it up. They're liars, folks. Every one of them.
Every one of them. Really makes sense, especially at the end there. The government suddenly opened up when 8 Democrats sided with the Republicans, which outnumbered to win the vote, because the Republicans kept voting to open up the government. But yet the Republicans were kept getting blamed, at least by the left and the news media. I mean, tape don't lie. Tape don't lie. I love it. But again, there are going to be a lot of people who will never see something like this, and they'll just keep on seeing what they, get fed, the bullshit they get fed from MSNBC. I think they dropped calling it MSNBC now. Did it start yet? They had to drop the logo because it's so bad that they're trying to rebrand themselves, hoping that, like it's going to change anything. That's like, I don't see how that works. That's like taking Godzilla and saying, okay, we're not going to call him Godzilla anymore. We're going to call him Moby Dinosaur. And then you look at it and you go, that's Godzilla. What the hell did he change his name for? Still Godzilla. Unless they get rid of all those anchors, Morning Joe, jerk off, his wife, they're 2 peas in a pod. What's the other one's name? Rachel Maddow. Not a piece of truth comes out of their mouths, and they get paid a lot of money to sit there and lie. And how they sleep at night is beyond me. It just blows my mind. Blows my mind. Here's one more from the band Beard about, again, Trump didn't do anything. And if he did, they would have nailed him ages ago. So he wouldn't have become president, because he's a thorn in their side. He's ruining their game. He's cutting off all their free money that they've been funneling through all these USAID and all these other, organizations. They're all, even on the Republican side too. There's a bunch of them that they got to go. The swamp, period. They got to go. But he's blown it all for them because he's trying to clean it up for you. I'm not saying he's perfect, but he's trying to make a difference, and they want to kill him because of it. They've already tried, but they still want to. And this is a big part of why I think he's holding on to the Epstein files. Coming up in 2 more videos. Stick around. Here, check out the band Beard.
Predictable as the day is long, it would just be a shifting narrative. See, if they release these documents and Donald Trump's name is not in them, they're just going to shift the narrative, and they've already begun. On the Today Show, they said the documents that would be released would not be for active cases or cases that are under investigation, so Donald Trump must be in those files. TMZ is now reporting that the Republicans have taken the documents and sent them away to scrub them to take the Republicans' names out of them. The problem is it's a bipartisan committee, and Democrats have had access to these documents, hence the Democrats leaking these laughable emails that have been known records forever. These aren't new documents. They're just new to the generation that wasn't around when this first came out. So now you guys are trying to spin it as if, it's being doctored, so Donald Trump's not involved. Read the documents. It's very clear that Epstein hated Donald Trump. Donald Trump's the one that turned him in. We must believe all victims except the over 200 that have said Donald Trump never did anything, and the 0 that haven't implicated him in anything are to be believed. The FBI said Donald Trump wasn't involved. This is well before Donald Trump was running for president. Epstein's lawyers said the same thing. Michael Cohen, who hates Trump, said the same thing. So again, it's just going to be spinning the narrative to claim, well, the documents that are released don't show where the ones Donald Trump were involved in.
I'm telling you, no matter what comes out of this whole thing, it's not going to be what you're wanting to hear. And the Democrats or the left are going to constantly make some excuse and twist it somewhere or another because they've got nothing else. There's nothing else. Do I feel for the victims? I know the victims and all the girls and guys. Don't forget there was guys who were little boys too. I know they want this to all come out. I do. But at the same time, even the left doesn't care about them. They care about their own hides. They care about their own asses. They can care less about the victims. It's not about the victims to them. It's about them keeping it all under wraps. And unfortunately, I don't think, because again, tonight, prior to going on, today's promo said, I think I know why Trump doesn't want to release the Epstein files. That was on one of the advertisements for the show. And people were commenting, he already signed it, jackass. It's like, yeah, I know. But I think I know why he was hesitant and didn't want to sign it. And it isn't because he's guilty. But the thing is, he did sign it. I think he's giving up. We'll talk about that in a bit. But he did sign it. But I'm telling you, and this guy, and I want this guy, I want him on my show. Next year, I hope to have him on my show because he's really good at finding really good information. He's going to explain to you that just like the last time when they're all holding up the binders and this and that, I think this is going to be not as bad as that, but it's not going to be what you think, like the full, here it is all laid out. Look, they still haven't even told us about John Kennedy from 1962, which he said he's going to open up the files and the truth be told. It's that deep. It's deeper than deep. It's in the abyss of how deep it is that something from 62 years ago, 64 years ago. Yeah, 62 years ago. I think he died. What, he died in 63? They still can't talk about it. They still can't blatantly open up and admit the diabolical scheme that they took out President John F. Kennedy. So what does that tell you? But here, I'll let him explain. There you go. And then the reveal coming up. Here you go.
Breaking news, the House of Representatives just passed the legislation to release the Epstein files nearly unanimously, 427-1. The only no vote was Clay Higgins from Louisiana, so he's going to have some explaining to do. And this all comes after Trump reversed course at the last minute to endorse the vote. So what does this mean? Well, we'll have to wait and see because A, the Senate still has to vote on it. But B, there is one word in this legislation that can make all the difference. So here it is. It says, no later than 30 days after the date of enactment of this act, the Attorney General shall make available in a searchable and downloadable format all unclassified records, documents, and communications and investigative materials in possession of the Department of Justice, including the FBI and the United States Attorney's offices. Unclassified, which is to say there are a lot of things they could potentially put under that bucket. Now, when asked why that clause is in there, Thomas Massie responded saying, quote, you have to put that in there if you're going to get them to sign it. It's not something I would sit and say, let's put that in there. It's something that when you run the bill past other colleagues and say, can you sign this? In fact, can you get every Democrat to sign it? It's one of those things that we felt was necessary to put in there. Not only that, Trump is also asking the Department of Justice to investigate the Epstein ties to a slew of other high-profile figures, which could actually, in effect, shield a bunch of these guys from public scrutiny because all the documents will be, quote, under investigation. So unfortunately, this may not be the big win that the American people were voting for. Let's wait and see what happens, and let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section below.
Aha! Aha! Another twist. Another, you think you're going to get everything, and then there's going to be that little clause that nobody, unless you're watching this show, give yourself a pat on the back, because now you'll know when you don't hear what you were expecting to hear, like everything come out onto the table, they're going to put the, yes, but we're investigating these people. So you won't get a definitive yes or no, guilty, not guilty, or like they did this, or we don't know for sure. You won't know because they're going to fall into the, well, they're under investigation clause. So we can't talk about it. How long will that investigation take? Days? Weeks? Months? Years? Who knows? But it won't be soon. It won't be soon. There'll be one thing after another, after another, after another. They're good at that. They're the best at that. Until, once again, we just kind of forget about it. That's the sad truth. Now, again, why did Trump, brush off the... This is the big part of the show now. This is what you've been watching for, I think. I hope so. So for all of you who are patient enough and dedicated enough who made it to this point, I wouldn't suggest turning it off right now, because you're about to see the reason I'm having this show tonight, which I truly feel that there's a reason why President Trump was not wanting to release the Epstein files, which he knows all about it. He knows everything about it, I'm sure. But he's not wanting to release it, not because he's guilty. There's other reasons. And this little video is the theory that I came across that makes the most sense to me. And I'm hoping that it'll make sense to you, because it's pretty sensible. It makes a lot of sense. And I'm all about that. It's not about who's guilty. Here's the video, folks. You ready? And again, I thank all of you who've made it this far, because this is the payoff. This is where the education and it all comes together, because we're just simple folk. And the deep state and politics, all this crap is way deeper than the average consumption of life. They think completely different, unfortunately. And they don't care about us. They care about them. So here you go. Here's my belief as to why President Trump was hesitant in the past to release the Epstein files. And it's not because he's guilty. You decide, and we'll talk about it in a minute. See you in a few minutes.
Imagine this, the day after the real proof drops. Not rumors or flight logs, but undeniable footage of world leaders doing hideous, unmentionable things to children. The world reacts with horror. Governments crumble. Markets collapse. Chaos spreads. Why? Because when power is suddenly removed without a plan, a vacuum forms, and nature abhors a vacuum. Now imagine you hold that proof, evidence implicating presidents, billionaires, architects of global control. You could release it, or you could use it to force them to surrender, dismantle their networks, and retreat without war. That's not corruption. That's leverage. And leverage is how you remove power without triggering collapse. To the doubters who say Trump is on the list, ask yourself, if that were true, why did they deploy everything to stop him? Lawfare, fake investigations, a CIA-signed Russia hoax, even attempts on his life. If they had the leverage on Trump, they would have used it already. But they haven't, because they don't. I wish Trump didn't have to lie. I wish there were another way. Maybe this bizarre, out of sync with MAGA behavior is the wink and the nod. Maybe acting out of character is the message. This isn't about feelings. It's not about outrage or hashtags. It's about power and how it's strategically neutralized. You don't take down the Illuminati or New World Order with a lawsuit. You do it with leverage. Silent, invisible, world-shaping leverage. My friends, we are all anonymous, and welcome to the real world.
Dr. Marks here. I'm the gentleman that was on the Sean Ryan podcast that talked about pedophilia and explained how their networks is coming from someone who, one, hunts pedophiles and protects children through our task force. This is the reality that I want people to understand. And the reason why the Epstein list will not come out, like I've said from the beginning, is because it is an intelligence operation. The best form of currency right now for control and power in our world is videos or pictures of children being abused by certain adults. When you have those as leverage, you can control a person to make decisions that will shape nations and truly make the difference in both political, legal, business, and world economics. The moment you prosecute a pedophile that would be on that list, you lose the leverage on them, and you also risk them telling the rest of the story.
Leverage, control. Those were your key words. He knows things, has access to things. He's the president. He's trying to survive through leverage because they all want to kill him because, again, he's screwing up their whole game. He's the only one standing between us and them. And he knows it. So he doesn't want to give up this information because he's using it as leverage for them to back off on him. Meanwhile, so he can continue to try to make changes in this world to try to get things back on track, whether you want to believe so or not. So that's the one ace up his sleeve he has on all those people, whoever they might be. And I'm telling you, they're even bigger than you think, beyond Bill Gates, beyond Bill Clinton. But somebody you know very well. I didn't be a president, not sure. He's holding all this because if he gives it up, then it's already done. Whatever damage is going to happen, it's already going to happen, and he's got no more leverage. Like he just said, even if they just get one person, let's say they nail Bill Gates, because I've heard stories about experimentation and all kinds of weird shit on Jeffrey Epstein's island that freak was doing over there. I don't know, just hearsay. But I've heard stories. Testing out everybody knows that the world hates Gates. I'm still getting comments from shows from 3 months ago, 4 months ago, and rightfully so. But however, if they let's say they nail one person and that other person spills all the beans, then Trump's got nothing. He's got nothing to his advantage anymore. And they go, well, we got nothing left to lose. And now they're, let's take him out. So meanwhile, they're saving face because, yeah, they don't like what the orange man is doing, but it's better than being revealed to the world on a bunch of stuff that is pretty bad. People that we're supposed to respect and some that have run this country. It's pretty bad. So that's why I believe he was hesitant to reveal the Epstein files for his own self-preservation. And again, he didn't have to become president. He didn't have to walk away from his life of being a billionaire to be president, which he takes no pay. He doesn't get paid for being president. He just donates that money every time. He did it the last time too. Show me another president that donated their paycheck. There isn't any. He's the only one. But again, they don't tell you this stuff. He wants to make a difference. He wants to go down in history, whether you like him or not. Again, I don't blame you. They programmed you to hate him. But all I can say is, every time you start screaming recession and this and that, it's like I'm looking around, I'm going, I don't see nothing. All I saw was gas prices are dropping, except California. They're never going to, because we got an asshole governor. Just saying prices of groceries, blah, blah, blah. Eggs are $2.58 a dozen now. They were like $4 or $5, $8. They were $8 a dozen back, 10 months ago? I mean, back in last December, November, 12 months ago. Butter was $5, $6. Now it's three something. I know, because I do shop. So don't tell me this stuff, because I live here too. Maybe I have a couple of dollars more than somebody, but there's always going to be that. There's plenty of people have way more money than me. Believe me. I'm not too far on the, too up on the totem pole. I clearly have always been honest with you guys. I just happen to have a show that I believe in and want to share things with you. I'm hoping you take this information. Again, you can watch the show on demand anytime you want. Once it's over, it'll be on YouTube forever unless they pull it down, which I doubt. They only get me for medical information for whatever reason. I don't know why. It's crazy. But it'll be on Facebook. It'll be on Rumble. It'll be on BitChute, Odyssey, LinkedIn. It'll be on audio podcasts, 26 different. The audio podcasts are doing great. I'm getting a lot of people from all over the world now, more so than ever, listening to the Peter G Show. Because it's stuff that they're going through it. Australia is going through hell. England is being run over by Middle Eastern friggin', Muslim radicalists. Canada's not having too good of a time too. The things that news doesn't tell you. But believe me, they got their friggin' hands full. And we're next. Because if they don't take down the American Western, the Western Hemisphere of the United States, of the world, world, the only thing I missed was town. Getting all riled up. Their theory is if they can't take down the United States, how are they going to keep everybody else under control? Because they're going to keep saying, well, why do we have to do it if they don't have to do it? Freedom, people. Stop being divided. Let's all stick together. Use your friggin' head. I could be talking about all kinds of stuff, and I swore I'd never get into politics and religion, and because it is so essential nowadays, got into it. It got me. But again, I don't tell you to believe me. I'm just putting this information out in hopes that you will take it to heart, keep it in the back of your minds, even if you don't believe me. You might down the road. It all adds up. It's how it worked for me. Prior to 2016, the last quarter of Obama's when I switched. And I will talk about that too, on why I don't believe Democrats are Democrats anymore. I will talk about that maybe one more show before the holidays. I told myself I was going to lighten up during the holidays, but it's that important. We're people. If you want to be able to have families and raise your children and, pursuit of happiness, that whole deal. We won't have this if you don't wake up and you don't listen and take things with a grain of salt that they're feeding you on the news. The news sucks. Repeat after me. The regular mainstream media sucks. They want you riled up. They want you to be angry. They want to keep you separated. Families. We'll talk about holiday dinners and politics, how well that goes together. Don't forget, you can listen to audio, the Peter G Show on audio. Just type in Peter G Show podcast when you're in the car driving. Again, it's hard, hour plus show. We're at an hour and 24 minutes right now. Put your earbuds in the ear, listen to it through your car stereo. Listening is the next best thing to be in there. Watching is great, and I love you for it. I truly do. Please share. Please, please, please. It's so important that you share and follow, like, whatever the term is for whatever platform you're on. On Facebook, it's I think you just hit the like button, and that means you're following on the official Peter G Show page, or follow. It's one of those two. Gotta go look. It's been so long. YouTube, you got to hit the subscribe button. That's all you do is hit the button. Boom. It'll notify you when I'm on, that kind of thing. You can watch shows after on demand, all of the above. But please, it helps me get the message out to you. I'm doing this for you because it's us. United we stand, divided we fall. I can't say that enough. I wish I would have made that up. That has got to be one of the biggest phrases to live by. Besides In God We Trust, or I Love You. A bunch of them. But it's one of the most important ones, all right? It's real simple. Don't forget next week, real quick. Next Wednesday, November 26th, Thanksgiving Eve, I've got celebrity psychic medium Tony Green's going to be on the show to spend Thanksgiving Eve with us. Don't know what we're going to do. I don't know if we're going to get into too much psychic stuff, but I just want her around because I love her. She's bubbly. She's pleasant. She's easy on the eyes. I like her company. And she agreed to come and spend it on Thanksgiving Eve, right here on Life of Peter G, The Peter G Show. Next Wednesday, November 26th, psychic medium, celebrity psychic medium, Tony Green is going to be on the show with me, just hanging out, and she's going to just be part of the show. Whatever happens. I think it'll be fun. I know it'll be fun because she's fun. And I mean that. But join me next week for that. That'll be good. We're going to lighten it up a little bit, I think. This show is an important show. Share it, share it, share it. I can't say it enough, okay? That's it. I want to thank each and every one of you. I do love you. I know what kind of dedication it takes to watch this show. I love you. Please share. It's important. It's not that hard to do. Follow and subscribe and all that. It's just pushing a button. I really want to make a difference. I love life. I love my child. I love my friends and family and people. I just want everybody to be happy. I really do. It's important. God, when everybody's happy, like things just move along. Nobody's bitching. It's like when everybody's happy, like life, there's such a great flow when you're happy. Living in misery, it sucks up so much energy from your soul. I see it every day, and I've gone through it myself. Not no more. Even when I get riled up, I can turn it off. I do take a few things personally when it comes to some personal things, but I'm just, I'm only human. I'm not perfect. But when it comes to talking about this stuff, and even people who are bitching me out on this show that disagree, I don't take it personally. You're entitled to your opinion, even when you're name calling and all that. Again, the guy that called me jackass today, I think he misunderstood my promo because I think he was a Trump supporter, but he called me a jackass because I said that Trump it doesn't want to release the Epstein files, and he signed the release, you jackass. And it's like, I know. Watch the show, and I think you'll understand why. And I forgive you. And if you still disagree with me, then so be it. Can't please everybody. All right. Thank you. Don't forget, watch the Peter G Show every Wednesday like clockwork, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. God willing. I was going to call Pastor Ray and see if he'll say a prayer for our shows on Christmas Eve. I still might. I think it's a good idea. We need all the help we can get. All right? Stay out of trouble. Be cool. Be kind. Life is short. There's a lot of people going through a lot of problems. A lot of people create their own problems. But even still, you don't know what they're going through. Think before you speak. Take a deep breath. Even when they lash out at you, just hesitate for a minute. Think about it before you bite. Life is very short. It really is. Every day. People I see on Facebook, everybody's got losing people left and right. That's life. Some way too soon, sadly. You don't have to be an ass, but you don't have to take a bunch of shit from people either. All right? Just be kind. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, next week, the beautiful and talented celebrity psychic Tony Green just going to hang out on the show with me for Thanksgiving Eve, and I'm going to be happy as hell about it. I think you will be too. All right? I love you. Peace out.
Peter G Show, Peter G Show, divorced dad, single dad.